Hello everyone, welcome back to the Nulyweds channel. I'm Olivia from Nulyweds and I hope you're really well. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 wedding traditions in Portugal that you need to know. It's not an exhaustive list, this is probably going to be a part 1 because there are going to be more things as I learn and grow in Portugal and learn more things and want to share them with you, but these are the 5 that I think you should know so far. If you like this sort of content, then give it a like, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into the video. So number 1 is 2 mains. Now spoiler alert, a lot of these things are about food. So 2 mains. Traditionally in, let's say in the UK, we have a 3-course meal, a starter, a main and a dessert. Sometimes you give your guests a choice of the mains that they want and then you can serve whichever you want. Very rarely you have a buffet style, but the tradition is starter, main and dessert. In Portugal, however, you have 2 mains that is served to everyone. So you have a starter, a fish dish, a meat dish and a dessert dish. Obviously there are alternatives for vegetarians. Sometimes between the fish and the meat dish there's a cor de sabores, which means like a palate cleanser. And this means that you can trade the flavors so that the meat doesn't taste of fish and the fish doesn't taste of meat. And that's more traditional in the very north. Now this is kind of less and less in favour around Lisbon and those surrounding areas, but in Porto and in the menu at the very top of the country, still very popular, so thought that you should know that one. Number 3 is that traditionally the venue does everything. So in Portugal you have quintas, and quintas do literally everything, from your planning to your stationery to your music to your children's entertainment to your fireworks, literally everything. Now this isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you want a really quick easy wedding and you don't really mind that it's not very personal, or you know that it's a bit standard, then it's probably perfectly fine for you. But these weddings are really samey. The venues do a lot of weddings per year, sometimes between 50 to 100 weddings a year. So they create the same wedding again and again and again because it's the easiest thing for them to do when you do that volume of wedding. I totally understand that. But if you want something more personal, more exciting, more individual, more bespoke to you, then I definitely advise hiring a wedding planner, because then they can bring in suppliers that are going to create really top-notch work that's particular to you and your wedding. Number 4 is the cake cut is a ceremony in itself. This is one of the weird ones that I thought when I started working in Portugal, but literally the cake cut is like a whole thing here. In the UK it's very simple. We usually use the cake cut to open the dance floor. So we bring the cake onto the dance floor, do the cake cut. Is a 10-second job. Everyone smiles, everyone, you know, smiles for the camera. We whisk the cake away and the couple has their first dance and the dance floor is open. That's usually how it goes. In Portugal, however, it's a whole ceremony. So it usually happens quite late at night, around midnight, and it's usually outside, has fireworks involved with like sparklers or single rockets going on behind you. Sometimes it happens in a really unique place. Usually there's a designated place in the venue where your cake cut happens. It could be next to a big view, or it could be in the middle of a river, or it could be over a waterfall, it could be on a big bridge. It's a whole thing. So you need to decide whether that sort of ostentatious cake cut is for you. It's a very unique tradition to Portugal, I feel, in the UK in particular, and I think in America it's not that important or significant, but in Portugal it is. So if you want to go full on Portuguese, then absolutely go for it. This is a really interesting tradition that I think that you'll either love or you'll hate. And number 5 is that traditionally weddings go on all night here. And when I say all night, I mean all night. I mean like nightclub hours. So in the UK, it's probably traditional for the wedding to end at around midnight, maybe at a push 1 o'clock in very, very rare cases, and usually in more rural venues. But in Portugal, particularly in the north again, you can have your wedding venue from anywhere between 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. sometimes. You can literally go when the sun comes up. Now be realistic as to what your party and your guests are going to be like. I'd say that this really depends on when your wedding starts. So if you have a ceremony at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I very highly doubt that you'll be going on until 7 in the morning next morning, but you may surprise me. Generally speaking, it's proportional to when you start your day. But if you know that a good party is really important to you and to be able to party on into the night is important to you, then Portugal is a great place to be because you can literally go on for hours. And that's it. That's a very, very quick video on the 5 wedding traditions in Portugal that you need to know. As I said, this is probably going to be a part 1 and I will be updating this very, very soon. I hope you liked this video. If you like this sort of content, give it a like. Subscribe for more wedding tips every single week and check out my Instagram. That's where I put on new wedding tips and inspiration literally every single day. So I hope to see you soon. I'm Olivia from Nulyweds and I will see you next week. Bye!